Hello ladies and gentlemen and those outside the binary, and welcome to a brand new Minecraft Survival Let's Play series. I am Red and this is episode 1. Let's go! So as with any survival series, the first thing we're going to do is find some trees and punch some wood. Because of course we are going to be needing all of our tools, all of our crafting tables, and we are just gonna have a wander around the world and see if we can find somewhere suitable to set up our first starter base and our mine. So I will bring you back once I have found a suitable place. So getting up above the tree line just to have a look around, and it looks like we're surrounded by forest on pretty much every side. There's some nice cliff over there which I think I'm going to head over to now. And I'll have a dig in there, gather some stone, hopefully find some iron and coal, and yeah, we can make our shelter for the first night over there, keeping an eye out of course for any cows or pigs on the way, or chickens, just so we can get some easy food, though I might also take advantage of the river, just try and get some fish, help if I can walk around this tree of course. So just coming over to this cliff here, it looks like there's an azalea tree poking out of it, so that means there's a lush cave down there somewhere. So that's something to explore a bit later. For now I am just going to grab some stone tools and bear that in mind. It looks a little bit dark under here, but oh, and there are some zombies there, so I think I am just going to stay on top for now. And you know how this goes, so I think I am just going to skip ahead to when I have stone tools. I will see you in a moment. So, as you can see, the first thing I did was just mine a little bit of stone in the wall. Just needed to make a stone pickaxe to make mining out a space a little bit easier. Once I had, I could then dig out a nice large hole for me to build into. My priority was to get myself a furnace set up. So that's the next thing I did there, and for that I needed a bit of wood. I needed the logs to make some charcoal so that I had something to smelt the iron with once I found it, and any extra could be used for some torches. So smelting the charcoal, I considered using my first wooden pickaxe as fuel. Changed my mind on that because I did decide that it would be nice to hold on to, so I just used some planks. While it was cooking, I just emptied out the room a little bit more, just give myself a bit more space to work with. And once I'd opened it up a little bit, I went to grab my crafting bench from outside and brought that back into the base so that I could just seal myself in for the night and pass it in safety. So obviously this little hole in the ground isn't going to be our permanent base. This is just so I can survive the first night and gather a little bit of resources while I'm at it. As you can see, I've already managed to find a little bit of coal. So that's going to help us with smelting and getting hold of iron a bit later on. Hopefully this is a bit of a deep vein. If we're lucky, there'll be some iron next to it as well. I'm not going to bore you too long with this. Everyone knows how the first few days of Minecraft go, so I will bring you back once I am ready to start caving. So the first thing I needed to grab was some food so that I could just make sure that I didn't die while I was down in the mines. My first thought was to try and get some fish. I noticed this skeleton with an enchanted bow while I was down here. Figured I should try and go for him, see if I could get anything. Unfortunately, he didn't drop anything. Hunting fish, it was a lot more painful than I thought it might be. I did manage to get 3, but chasing them down was pretty hard, so I changed my mind and decided to go searching on land instead. As I was heading to look for food, I got lucky and found a couple of bits of iron just in the wall. I grabbed those out. Unfortunately, it was just a vein of 2 iron. So while I did manage to grab those, it didn't go any deeper. Rather than continue searching on the surface, though, I did keep going to hunt for food. Managed to find this pig, which was the first bit. As I was heading into a spruce forest, I came across a few cows. So that's 1, and then another 2 just over here. The nice thing about the cows as well, of course, is that they drop the leather as well as the food, which gives me the chance to make a bit of armor. While I was getting the cows, I noticed this pillager outpost out in the distance, making a mental note of that, as it's something that I hope to make use of a bit later. Just the area as well looks quite nice. It's very open, this particular section, so I may come over to this area when I start to build a larger base once I move on from my starter base, which probably won't take too long to move on from, as the starter base is something that you outgrow quite quickly. I managed to find a little bit of coal while I was over here as well, so just mined down to grab that. Never hurts to have too much coal. So moving on from the coal, I caught out of the corner of my eye a little bit of wool and mutton floating. That likely means that there is a wolf around that's been hunting sheep. A second bit of wool found there as well. I don't have a bed yet, so that's actually something that's going to be quite useful for me. So I had a little look around, see if I could find some more sheep. Didn't manage to find any immediately. Did find some chickens, however, so that's some easy food. Found the wolves that had presumably hunted the sheep, so just had a little poke around for a bit longer. Found a couple more chickens, still no sheep unfortunately. At this point my hunger was starting to get kind of low, so I was debating heading straight back. As you can see, this chicken gave me a bit of a runaround, so I started swimming back to see if I could find some sheep, and I found some gravel just floating out in the water. It's very unusual. There was a ravine at the bottom. I'm guessing something triggered and the gravel just dropped and floated to the surface when I wasn't looking. Perhaps a drowned throwing a trident or something similar. I did have a quick look down there just to see if there was anything interesting at the bottom. I couldn't see anything, and unfortunately without aqua affinity it's not a good time to go looking for it. I did then keep looking for sheep, found a pig and found a cow. No sheep as yet, but I kept looking, and eventually my persistence was rewarded as I found my first sheep, which gave me my third wool, and then on the way back to the base I found another sheep again. And with that I went back into the base to smelt up the little bit of iron I've got, as well as cook the food. As you may have noticed, my hunger bar was quite low at this point, so it was kind of necessary. I then made my bed, finished cooking all the food that I had, and just generally got ready to go down into the mines. Okay, and we're about ready to go mining. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of food now from my brief adventure. I also found a couple of bits of iron, and I realised I had enough leather to make a bit of armour, so I decided to make a fancy leather cap. I want to hold on to some of my leather for item frames down the line. I've got a little bit of sugarcane as well that I found while I was wandering around, and of course I have my bed. So that is me all ready to go into the mines, and let's try and find some iron. So there's not much to say about mining. The main thing to do when you're looking for iron is just dig down to Y16. That gives you the best odds of finding the iron. One thing I did find as I was digging down was this water-filled cavern. I had a quick look just to check whether it linked up to the surface or not. It looks like it did, so I didn't bother going too far up. I did see at the bottom there was moss and tropical fish. What that means is that there is a lush cave down there. So I made a mental note of that. I did have a quick look around the cavern as well, just to see if there was anything of interest. I didn't see anything that particularly interesting to me, so I decided to just keep digging down and mine for iron within my own strip mine. One thing that I like to do when I am mining is just make sure that I put my torches down to my left. That way, when I do want to return to base, I can just follow the torches, make sure they're on my right, and that way it's nice and easy to find my way back just in case I do get turned around. So continuing on, I just dig in a straight 2x1 hole, keeping an eye out for any iron that I may come across. I always try and make sure I fill in any holes that I leave just with a torch, just to try and prevent mobs from spawning. Just helps keep the lag down on the server. Once my pickaxe broke, I had to return to base. I used the opportunity to cook the iron that I had so far, as well as just store the various blocks, just to keep my inventory nice and open. I made myself a fresh iron pickaxe. I also decided that I was going to make myself a bucket. I want to have easy access to water within my base, so obviously I'm going to need a bucket for that, and it's something that's be useful if I come across any high drops. The remaining iron I used to make myself a couple of pieces of armour, so I just made myself a chest plate and some boots. going back down into the mines, I continued on from where I was, had a lot more luck finding iron this second time round, and I actually managed to break my way unexpectedly into a really large lush cave. And can we just take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful the new cave generation is in 1.18. It's not something I'm going to try and explore right now. I did have a brief look around on the floor just to grab a couple of the resources, but ultimately it's just a bit too dangerous for me to explore when I've not even got full iron armor yet. But it's something that I definitely plan to come back to. If nothing else, I would love to collect some more of the drip leaves, some more of the moss, the azaleas and the glowberries. But for now, I just wanted to do a little bit of an explore. I made sure to grab the spore blossom, as that'd be quite a nice item to have around my base. Grabbed one or two of the drip leaves as well as a bunch of the moss. I did have a little bit of an explore just around the edge of the Lush Cave, so you can see that I was just mining my way around a ridge here. It's lucky that I was crouched, as I attempted to walk off a couple of times, and there was a water aquifer just to my right the entire time. So once I grabbed the iron here, I decided that was probably enough caving for now, and I decided that I was just going to head back to base and just quit while I was ahead. Just did not want to lose everything at the bottom of this giant cave. It would be a nightmare to try and get that back. Okay, as you can see, I now have a full set of iron armor. I've even got half a stack of iron left over. I have plans for that, so you'll see what that is a little bit later on. But for now, I think I want to improve the look of my starter area a little bit. I think what I'm going to try and do is make this look a bit like a natural cave. I still don't have easy access to the outside. As you can see, it's currently night at the moment, but I would like a way down to the water's edge so that I can get out and grab wood when I need it as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. I will bring you back once I am done. See you soon. Okay, and here is the new starter base. So as you can see, I have built a bit of a pier just coming out onto the water here, so my plan is to use that for a bit of fishing in future. Do not yet have a fishing rod. If we come up the stairs here, I've got just a little bit of crops on the side. Again, this is something that will expand with time, but just to get it started. And the cave itself is now much more cave-like. So we've moved one of our chests over to here. We've got some glowberries growing from the ceiling just to give a bit of natural light. I've made myself a stone cutter, got the bed just here. Got a little infinite water pool just here as well. Over on this wall we've got our double chest, and the entrance to the mines is just down here, and I've just smoothed that entrance by putting in some stairs at the bottom. But what I don't think any base is complete without is a proper auto smelter, and I've picked out a spot that I think it will work with just over there. So give me 2 seconds and I'll get that put in. And just like that, we're done. So it's only a simple super smelter. It's just a double speed furnace smelter. If you've not used one of these before, they're incredibly simple. As you can see, there are 2 double chests. The ones at the top are the ones that you put whatever it is you're wanting to cook in. So I am wanting to cook this chicken. I'm going to be needing a lot of stone, so I'm going to throw that in as well. And then this chest at the back here, you just open that up and you throw your fuel in, and as you can see, it automatically starts smelting. I'm not going to include a tutorial on how to build it in this video. I have already done a video on that, which I will link in the description. If you want to have a look at that, it would be much appreciated. But for now, that's all for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've made it this far into the video, I hope that you might consider subscribing to me for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.